simply because yesterday was a shorter day than I had anticipated for obvious reasons. And so I want you guys to do one of two things. Either grab a marker and a big whiteboard space or a marker and a little whiteboard. I want to do a quick review and check to see how you're all doing with yesterday. Yeah, you can erase anything up on the board.
Getting this grade was
Bag that baguette. Whoa. I've never heard the baguette one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all I think of.
Okay, guys, I'm going to give you all 3 questions. Let's see how this goes.
Well, it depends because if you give a name, but then it doesn't really matter because it's all about us.
There's the first one. Ready, go.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely no.
Please simplify all these. That's the first one up there right now. Once you've got it, just turn around or flip your board and let me know what you got. That's right.
What's a cool name?
like smooth.
No.
That's right. That's right. Good job.
Your book, I said that on Instagram. I replied.
Did you really? Did you say Jesus?
No.
Okay.
That's right. Good job.
I haven't looked at the replies.
I can't
What did
think
you
of
say?
any names. I know. I like everything that I think of.
Boy, Jake, you guys doing okay?
I like Ace right now. Just because
Ace right now.
So what's the pattern?
What's the character like? We didn't even do that. Yeah.
He manipulates.
Look back and see like what's the correct answer.
So he has powers. Magical powers.
So I liked Cal.
Torch.
Cal is alive.
Aren't you taking Latin?
You should do something with soul.
Okay.
Soul.
So guys, real quick, again, just in the interest of making sure that you have retained from yesterday, listen up please. If you are dividing like bases, you do leave the base the same, and you subtract exponents top minus bottom. So if you got x to the 8th, you are correct. Okay? All right, next one.
All good in the hood. Ryder, that's pretty cool.
Ready, go. X to the 4th
Multiplication facts.
to the 9th.
I'm literally so bad at multiplication facts.
I'm the best at multiplication.
X to the 4th to the 9th. Again, this is based on what we did yesterday. Good.
Okay, Kyrie.
You're just smart.
ETA has made me realize that I
All around here.
What's your definition of cool?
Okay.
But I also really
Okay, so that helps.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's gonna be
Whoa.
You watch the video?
has firepower.
Always watch the video. That's why we're doing it here today. I'll re-explain this, but you should always watch the video. If you're ever gone, for whatever reason. When did you check? Yep. So if it's not there, just email me. You know, it's definitely there now. I think I posted it yesterday at like 2:30 because I taught through till then. So if it's not up there and you wanted to watch it, just email me really quick. You'll be like, oh, darn it, he didn't make one or whatever. Just ask. I'll do it. Hey, guys, check this out. Want to remind you, listen up, please. Want to remind you how this works. You guys remember that 9th power means, hey, Josh, I know I'm interrupting and I'm sorry, but you need to be quiet. Thank you. To the 9th power means times itself 9 times, right? So this would be x to the 4th times x to the 4th, and you need 9 of these things, right? There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think that's 9, right? 3, 6, 9. Yep. Okay, so you basically have 4 x's times 4 x's times 4 x's, 9 times, right? Yeah. So if you have 4 groups of 4 x's multiplied times each other 9 times, how many x's are there? There's 36 of them, right? And I'm not going to write out all 36 of them because that would take forever. So the pattern is if you have a base to a power, what do you do with your exponents? Multiply. So you get x to the 36th here. Okay. So then the last one here for review, let's go x to the 27 times x to the 18th. Ready, go. Next to the 27 times x to the 18. You definitely want to know your rules.
You got this.
All right, yeah.
It's not a circle. Okay, well, my teacher last year was like, you have to box your answer. I'm used to it.
I do both, depending on space.
Yeah, I do both. I like the look of boxes.
Mine is like, it starts off with,
Okay, if there's a lot of parentheses in the question, then I use a box. But if there's like no parentheses.
7
Josh,
times.
are you marshmallow? Oh, I want to draw a marshmallow. No, marshmallow.
Yeah.
Okay, 44, 45. Josh, you were spot on. Are you listening? Josh, you were spot on.
Boom! Don't doubt me. Everyone doubts my abilities.
He's not that cute though.
See, Ben got my back.
We need positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement in this stuff.
And you know, maybe a little bit in that though.
Literally, negative. Negative 1. Math. Made the math joke.
Hey, it's like a hot.
Yeah, got him. Hold on. Now it's eating.
That's not what it's in a fire.
Then it's like,
That is not flame. Okay, here's the thing though. At the retreat, we were roasting marshmallows, and I had my like
then you draw
on
yourself.
like near the next to it, and
you
you know where I'm there. Yeah.
got
All
him.
right, please take your seats. Please take your seats. Good job. X to the 45th. You add your exponents here. X to the 45th. Okay, good. Hey, while you guys are all getting back to your seats, just want to remind you that your Unit 4 test is coming up not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. And so that means any concept quiz retries that you want to do have got to be done by the 6th. That's next Wednesday, okay? I know I told you that yesterday. I will probably keep telling you that every day up until the 6th. Because there are some folks that have not such stellar grades for one or more of those concept quizzes, and you have done nothing as far as retries. You haven't even talked to me and said, hey, I would like to do a retry tomorrow or whatever. It's just sitting there. Listen, like I wrote in that email, you need to make it a goal to get those retries wrapped up as much as you can this week. It is so foolish to think that you'll do it on the 5th. I could ask for a show of hands in here, but I'm not because I don't want you to stick your neck out. Think of this. How many people have tried to do a retry, gotten the results, and realized they did no better than they did on the first time? And then, okay, but then you see it, and you're like, oh, now I get it. And so then you do a second retry, and yes, as a matter of fact, you did get it. Great, right? Versus if you try it on the 5th or the 6th, and you get it back, and you're like, whoa, I did worse, or I did the same. You've given yourself no room to improve. No time. So do not, the deadline is the 6th. It's better to have it done well before then instead of waiting until the last possible second. There's business lunches, there's other open periods. Cannot strongly encourage you any more than I am right now. Get it done. Okay? Just email me. We'll get it set up. Okay? So let's do a little work here. I would like to see how you do with this. Let's review. Does anybody remember what the 3x would be called? It's the base. That's right. So the 3x is the base. The base is not x. The base is not 3. The base is the whole thing, 3x. The parentheses make that clear. What do we call the 4? Exponent. So let's remind ourselves what this really means. What does to the 4th power really mean? 3x times itself 4 different times, right? So it'd be 3x times 3x times 3x times 3x. You'd multiply all your 3's together. Obviously, you'd multiply all your x's together, and you'd get a an expression for that. So based on what that means, I'm wondering if you guys could take a look at numbers 1 and 2. That's kind of like what we did yesterday. And use the meaning of an exponent to help you maybe identify a pattern. That make sense? Help you identify a pattern with what's happening here. These are called powers of products and powers of quotients. Okay? So use that example there and see if you can develop a pattern, a rule for questions like 1 and 2. Ready to go? This is what you do. You'd say cubed means base times itself 3 times, right? So for this one, it would be 2xy times 2xy times 2xy. So then maybe you'd multiply all your 2's together, right? You get 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. What about the x times x times x? What's that? X to the third. And how about the y times y times y? Y to the third. Okay? So it would be 8x cubed, y to the third, and that'd be where you'd finish with that one. Anybody notice a pattern here? And here's why the pattern is important. 2xy to the third, you could write this thing out fairly easily and be done with it like what we just did. However, what if it was 2xy to the 74th? Might you want a pattern for that, right? Maybe you would want a rule for that as opposed to writing it out 74 times and blah, blah, blah. So, thoughts? What do you think the pattern is here, Joe?
If you just have like a variable, like x and y, then you just put the exponent next to it.
Okay.
And then if you have an actual number, then you just multiply the number times itself.
Okay, sure. I totally agree. Let me write it out like this. What are the exponents on the x and the y currently at the start? They're 1s. And so wouldn't this be 2 to the third, x to the third, y to the third? So if you have a product, remember a product is a multiplication. So if you've got a product raised to a power, then each piece of the product, it's that exponent multiplied times its exponent. Okay. All right, so we'll look at a pattern for that here in a second. Let's take a look at the number 2 here. Squared, doesn't that just mean times itself once? So this would be 4x cubed over z squared times 4x cubed over z squared. Make sense? So then you would get 4 times 4 is 16. X to the 3 times x to the 3, what's that? X to the 6th. And then how about the z's in the denominator? Z to the 4th. Okay. So, any questions on 1 or 2, like the way that I've done it? The way that I'm doing up there is certainly the slow way, and we want to be efficient. We want to use our rule. I want you to understand why, though. Okay, questions? So let's look at our big takeaway, and then we'll see if we can use that. So our big takeaway is, there's 2 of them here. So if you have x to the a, y to the b, to the c. So you got x with an exponent, y with an exponent, bless you, the whole thing is raised to the c power. Then you're going to get x to the a times c times y to the b times c. That make sense? So we just did. Okay. And then it's the same kind of thinking here. If you have x to the a over y to the b to the c, this will give you x to the a times c over y to the b times c. So see if you can take that pattern and use it to help us with the final one there. 3x over y to the 7th, quantity squared. So think that one through. See what you come up with. Okay, anybody want to offer up an answer? What you think that would be? Ben?
3x squared over y to the 14th.
3x squared over y to the 14th. What do you think of Ben's answer? Callie?
Wrong.
Wrong. Oh, man, that was a chorus of wrongs, Ben. I'm sorry. Callie, what do you think, Callie?
I think it's 9x squared over y to the 14th.
There you go. That's the right one.
So now Josh agrees. Others are like, yeah, that's it. So what Ben has illustrated for us, I think, is extremely useful. Listen, mistakes are actually, like in this setting here, mistakes are awesome.
Yes.
Okay? You made one little mistake.
Mistake.
Listen, you're going to learn from it, and everybody else is going to learn from it too. Your brains are actually going to get a little bit better, a little bit stronger because of that. So it's great. I appreciate it. In fact, I'm going to call that my favorite mistake of the day. I'm glad you did that. And I'm not being false about that. I really am glad that you said that. Guys, this is a common error. Really common error. For some reason, when we're doing exponents, nobody seems to forget to handle the x to the whatever. Nobody seems to forget about the y to the whatever. But sometimes we forget about that 3, that base of 3. That also is raised to the second power as well. Obviously, that gets you to 9. But it's easy to forget that for some reason. So just encouragement there to really think about those and emphasize that. Okay? Any other questions or concerns, comments? Okay, so we're going to do more work at the board. I just want to give you a lot of practicing here. So let's head back up to either big boards or little boards with a marker. Ready, go.
Ava, you like this? Chase gave me this.
Some of these are going to get a little more complicated.
Move out my way.
You do? I gave somebody one of those cards in this class. I'm moving it to here so we can discuss it.
Because on the front side it says stop talking. I wrote it down. We did move. Or pizza, or cricks of lava. Hey, there you go, cricks of lava. Lava. Cricks of lava, that's a good one. Cricks of lava.
All right, ready, go.
It goes the circle of flame. Please explain. What does that mean? It's nerd. The dot.
Oh, interesting. Hey, I want to. Hey, I want to stop. Hey, hold on. That's a time. Guys, stop what you're doing right now. This is going to be my second favorite mistake of the day, since I already told Ben his was my favorite. Listen. Hey, listen really well right now. Some of you, I noticed, and this wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it could be. Some of you immediately jumped in and used a box. Okay? I think the box is not the right strategy. Can I write out what you would want to use the box for?
Yes.
Please, for goodness sake, don't zone out in the next 30 seconds. If I had this, if I had a binomial times a binomial, I would definitely use the box. I do not have a binomial times a binomial. I simply just have a monomial times a monomial. So we do not want to use really the boxes here at all. Does that make sense? It's going to lead you down a bad path. You need to notice and make note of the difference between addition and multiplication. Okay? All right, so continue. Ready, go. Armed with that.
Team, we got it.
Thank you.
You can't see me if you don't even know me. Okay. First word.
You should actually.
Why?
Well, flama is
Who
Onipatiatu.
sings after somebody?
Pizza and
No. Larry sings. Oh. Who sings after Larry? I don't know.
Oh.
Who's that bitch? It's Cynthia.
Evan's not there. And they all have it on it. It's just the fans, the marketing.
Oh yeah, because they're saying about having to destroy their lives. No, it's not. Yeah, he's actually it's Cynthia singing about how she destroyed her life. Cynthia just singing about how she destroyed her life. Is she singing about it? No. Trace, what is her life? Yeah. Why do I have to be an expert on Jeremy Hansen?
Actually.
Okay, here's the answer.
Well, apparently I relate better.
See a lot of good ones.
No one.
Here you go. Should be a to the 5 times b to the 6. Questions, guys. A to the 5 times b to the 6. All right, let's move on then.
It means no one in Latin. What about Ursa? What about Rooster? Honest?
Ready to go.
Wait, is it We're doing this. It's just, what is that? Javier. Javier. The J. Where? But it's so where?
Oh my gosh, do you remember the triangle? Oh, okay. See, you know now I
Houston, we have a problem. Houston. Yeah, Houston. Austin.
Okay, just look at good. Next to the 18.
Yeah, but the words came from this place. Boom!
Okay, next to the 18 is correct. I'm seeing a lot of good work. Good job.
Wait, does that mean
Lester's the last
There you go.
Big money, guys. Oh, yeah. We gave you a bunch of names. Javier, Nemo, Where?
they're trying to call me
Yeah, Juan.
your book character?
Now she's like, it can't be from this world. I'm like, where do you think words came from? Pluto.
It's not one age, it's not Wait, is it a boy or a girl?
That is like a full mob in
Drink.
If you, on your Instagram, you posted something about money in it, you should put like a character description by it. No, hang on. I wrote like 5 different skills. They all had really good jobs.
It's funny because you don't drink.
Hey guys, I'm seeing the right answer all over the place. 100, X to the 6, Y to the 10. Great, nice job.
You're in my space. Get out my safe space. Ronan. What about Ronan? Ronan. What?
Ronan? You might as well name him Banana. No, that's fine.
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Where'd he go?
Literally so far back. Oh yeah, my shirt.
Please try that one right there.
I like Red Ace, but I don't know. I like Ace. Is it?
Didn't like a number.
I liked her.
Hey Josh, yours is pretty different from other people's. You should look. You guys should be comparing. There's a lot of people that have different answers.
How did you get that? What is 20 times 3?
Alexa.
Alexa, play Despacito.
No. You guys, Callie thinks 3 times 3 is 9.
Alexa, play this.
But I got it right then. I'm technically lost. Can you just leave?
His name should be
Almost everybody up here is lost. It's just me and Josh.
What?
Look, you're naturally. Yeah, I know. Josh.
All right. So again, there are some answers that remain different. Chases, Kyrie's are different. Josh changed his.
Wait, no. What? Oh,
Okay. So guys, here's the correct answer. It should be 8x to the 9 over 27y to the 15. Hey guys, listen up, please. Hey, please be quiet. Koi, stop what you're doing. So you guys are doing really, honestly, you're doing quite well. But I want to make sure you understand there is a difference between this 2 and this 3. The 2 is a base, and the 3 right there is an exponent. So they need to be treated differently because they are different. All right, let's try 1 or 2 more here. Here we go.
Nikki. Cardi B.
Ready, go.
Adamantite.
What?
Cool. I thought it was.
Oh, is that? What about me? You can reduce this. No, you can't. Can't you? Yeah, by 3.
I will wreck you.
What's 2 takes a 15?
How do I do that?
I'm a 10.
How'd you get 10? Yeah, you're right.
Oh, it's 15? I only saw 5.
So far, so good.
Wait, you can reduce these, right?
You can simplify that further. So far, so good.
Guys, you gotta
Nothing wrong with
Even
it. Keep going. Keep going.
No, or can you?
That's good. I can see changes.
The reason I remember, no, you can't.
I will wreck you, okay? Okay, well, okay, so let's say you are approved. So then just be A21, 21, B21.
Where are you gonna, wait, you can reduce exponents, right?
What do you mean reduce?
You subtract and then divide.
You're dividing like bases, you subtract your exponents, leave the bases.
Oh, yeah.
So this means 30 A's over 9 A's. There you go. 30 B's over 9 B's. There you go. That's right. That's right. So again, the thing you want to think about is bases and exponents.
Hey, what about Roy?
You treated this almost like it was 30 divided by 9. That's just like that was 10/3. The problem is this was 8 to the 30 over 8 to the 9.
Mark. Keep beating me.
So far, so you guys, all so you're using these 3 folks are like, you have done the problem here.
Get out of here.
Oh, we have to do.
You got
I'm right there.
I was exploring the possibility.
Well, mine was right.
I had 2 answers. Because I didn't know. So I made my right there.
That's a big chunk. We got some stuff happening. On the side.
Oh, okay.
I can't.
Does that make sense? Okay, this will be our last one coming up. Yeah, here we go. This one should have been A to the 21 over B to the 21. All right, here we go. Last one. All right, ready to go.
Get out of my area. Get out me swamp. Get out of my
I'm gonna build me a wall. I'm on
I
a
will build a wall.
What's 6 times 9? Gosh, it's just.
Bowser.
Tiny Bowser times 2.
Yeah, because they're like, this is no base. Alright.
Charizard.
Where are we at? Kirito?
Can you add them together further?
Add them. We need to combine them.
Spell like this.
Definitely. So what is this times this? 72.
Wow.
72.
72. And then you've got a
Mine don't exactly change color. They only change color when you go like this.
Where's the
Because they grow to
So then, there you go. So that's going to change that.
You actually say
There we go. Got it. You can multiply an x squared. So this goes back to additional x squared times x. That's x squared, right? X squared plus x. And do that. That's already simplified. So it's the difference between plus and
God.
what? Square is not 6.
My name is Kat.
X to the third times X to the fourth is address from the fourth. Hey guys, I'll put the answer up there for you.
You should hear me do karaoke.
Sorry I didn't get around to everybody. Here it is. Did you get it? Did you get it? Yeah, you did. Very good. Hey, please put your whiteboards and markers up. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Great job today.